change a little bit.
Okay, we begin with Ms. King. One more question about Malaga Cove. Some get frustrated with the four-way intersection in front of the Malaga Cove Plaza due to traffic backups and rush hour periods. Would you attempt to do something about this if elected? Do you support installing a traffic signal in lieu of the current four-way stop at this busy intersection?
I'll take that last one first. No. Can I just say no? We do have in our budget a traffic study for Malaga Cove. As you saw, we did a small version of one along in front of the police station, which again showed us some unintended results. We do have money in the budget to conduct a larger traffic study to see if there's some other configuration that might alleviate some of the traffic around there during rush hour. I don't know. There's talk about a traffic circle, different things, but it's a very difficult intersection, especially for people who are not familiar with our city. And I know that there have been a handful of accidents there involving cars and bicycles. So to the extent we can do something that would alleviate traffic, but in my view, it would be more important to improve safety there, yes, I would support doing something.
Okay, Mr. McGowan.
Yes, I would not support a traffic light there either, but I would support more enforcement of the laws at that intersection, because constantly you're going through that intersection and people are changing lanes at the last minute, they're not following through, and I think that is a recipe for disaster as far as accidents are concerned, as well as pedestrians. I know that there's discussion about a potential traffic circle there, which is, I think, ties into a bigger issue of how we use that land down there and whether we have the space and how it would be configured.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McCarthy.
So I would support a traffic study that would include the study of a traffic signal. And I'll tell you why. I mean, look at that intersection at rush hour. Cars are lined up down the street and they just wait to get through that. And so we met with, as part of the Traffic Safety Committee, we met with people from the Malaga Cove and to talk about the parking issues. And there's a parking lot right across the street from City Hall that nobody uses, and they won't use it because they can't cross the street. It's not safe to cross the street, and that's in the daytime. And really, a traffic circle isn't going to help that. So to keep all the options open and to keep give the residents all the options to choose from, I think it merits a traffic study, which would include a traffic signal as part of the study.
Thank you. Ms. Peterson.
I think this would be a great topic for the community engagement piece for the Davenport Institute. I know there are a lot of people that want to keep PVE the way it is, no lights, dark skies, and everything. But as the time moves, and with Terranea being a lot of people's destinations and the safety becomes more of a concern, I really, really wonder how our community would feel to have some better safety mechanisms put out there. So maybe it's not a traffic signal, maybe it is a traffic signal, but I think that's something that the community would be able to help us in deciding that. I am for having a traffic circle at where the triangle is to help alleviate that traffic nightmare. But also, we have to consider unintended consequences. Is that going to make people speed faster? Is that going to allow more traffic coming through our city? So those are all traffic studies that we need to consider.
Thank you. Ms. Losey.
In my family, we call that the bad intersection. So when my husband calls and says, I'm almost home from work, I'm at the bad intersection. So one of the things, in the morning, so there was a preliminary traffic study, but it seemed like when that was presented to City Council, and it's been a while, it's probably been a year, it kind of threw their hands up and said, I don't know. So, but, in the morning, the traffic cop works well in the morning. Seems like we ought to be able to find a model where we could get the traffic cop to work in the afternoon. I don't know about a traffic study that includes a light. I mean, it seems like if you're going to do a study, you have to probably think of everything. But for the safety and better law enforcement, I guess it also is mind-boggling to me that people do the awful, illegal, and unsafe things that happen in that intersection, and it's right in front of the police department. And how are we not pulling, it seems to me, from a city revenue perspective, if we just park a cart there and give everybody a ticket that does a dumb thing. So that, to me, has got to be improved.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kemps.
I love the idea of the enforcement increase. That's phenomenal. I'll say I also love transparency, and I'd love to have a traffic study. I'd love to see it. but I will go down kicking and screaming over a traffic light. There is just no way. As to the rest of it, I'd be open to a traffic circle, I suppose, if it worked right, to bring those two sides together. I love the idea of the additional parking lot. It definitely is a challenge. I live in Malaga Cove, so I live it with you, but I care more about our character and our city and the way that it looks and the uniqueness of that plaza than I do the frustrations over the traffic. So I think we have to find the right balance, and we definitely have to have transparency and community input.